Hey people, welcome to In Space with G. I'm your host, G, and I'm here with my very special guests, Joel Bleu.
Wagwan, fellow listeners, Wagwan.
Hey,
Wagwan.
And that's a new name, so I wasn't prepared to introduce you like that. Formerly known as Indiiigo Bleu.
Yeah, man, the Indigo thing had to phase out.
Really?
We'll get into that shortly.
I feel you. Yeah, we could talk about that a little later. But yeah, Joel Bleu is an artist, rapper, poet, deep thinker, and a Bronx native. So welcome, Bleu. Talk to me about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your sophomore album, Blvck N Bleu, which we'll get into. Mm-hmm. And tell me a little bit about, just you. Give me some background on you. Tell us, the listeners, about yourself.
I'm black.
That's it?
That's the most important part.
Yeah,
That's
I feel
the
you.
most important part. Here I am, 23-year-old Bronx native. A very interesting thing that I wanted to mention before we jump into anything else, because I know it's probably going to follow up with a lot of your questions, is the fact that I don't have a lot of hip-hop background, actually. I come from a Honduran household. So I grew up on a lot of reggae, and I just happened to take a liking to that. Michael Jackson, a lot of random stuff, Coldplay as well. I didn't actually get into hip hop until about maybe my sophomore year in high school because of my negative influences. So
your friends?
Yeah.
Because they were into it. They were into rapping and hip hop and stuff. And I know you started off as a poet.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I went to Catholic school from 1st to 5th grade. Forced to go to Catholic school. Forced to learn about religion, but that's a different story. And there we were pretty much put into this program where we had to learn Shakespeare poetry and Shakespearean language at that. We had to learn how to write in it. I don't know for what reason. It was for a bunch of projects that we had to do it, but it was every single year that I was there. So we had to learn Shakespearean, but I guess that's kind of the root of it. I got into poetry through Shakespeare. And then from being thrown out of Catholic school and going into public school, I went to Paul Laurence Dunbar middle school. Paul Laurence Dunbar is a black poet, if nobody knows who that is. For the next 3 years, from 6th grade to 8th grade, we had to start learning about Paul Laurence Dunbar's poetry. Yeah. So it kind of just, I was like, I was about to curse. By the way, it's very difficult for me to be censored.
I'm sorry that you had to do that.
The theme of the show should be censorship. But yeah, so Paul Laurence Dunbar, a black poet, and Shakespeare, a very ancient, I don't even know if this man really existed, but these, these two forms of poetry combined, and they kind of just, manifested themselves through me. So that's
what's up. School made you start enjoying poetry and eventually turn into a rapper, kind of. Yeah. Shout out to school. Low key. Yeah, that's another topic.
We're gonna say shout out to school because we're in one.
But so they can, yeah, exactly. But so they can hear your influence with poetry. Let me play one of your songs right off the bat.
No doubt.
Let us start with #AlternativeFacts, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Lit.
Right?
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. That one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Yeah, in recent times, the importance of black lives has manifested. The media speaking of less crime. It's evident on my doing fun, and everything I say is real. I ain't beefing with Palestine. Religion no longer controls the populations, and everyone is converting to a non-denomination. Or at least that would be best for what it seems, to put an end to all religious war and peace across the nations. The food is good enough to eat, the water's clean, the only drug is love, and everybody in the world is fiends. White men no longer hold the money or diseases, and in fact we talking vegetation when we mention greens. Racism don't even exist anymore, neither does middle class or first first class and nobody's poor. Yeah, equality's in place, the government is trusted, and ain't no meaning behind the term systematic injustice. Our black fathers are staying to raise the youth. The history books and politics has been feeding us all the truth. Our presidents make America great again, and all the colleges are open for anyone to attend. Ain't gotta worry about scholarships or tuition. Just take your classes, forget the world, and focus on your mission. And black people ain't bound to the county prison, free to square our roots and ain't living under division.
I was dreaming, but 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 I was dreaming.
I was dreaming.
But you were dreaming. That was #AlternativeFacts. I wanted to talk about how that song was released 5 days before the 54th anniversary of Martin Luther King's speech, I Have a Dream. I don't know if you knew that you released it like 5 days before.
You know what? Right now, that's a surprise to me.
Wow, yay.
Because I don't remember that era. Like, the whole, like, album process is just, like,
a blur.
It blacked out to me. Like, after actually dropping it, it's like now I'm just, like, you know, enjoying the fruit of the labor. But I can't remember anything like that went through it. So I'm pretty sure that that's like what I was doing there.
Like it was intentional, I'm sure. And it was a few months after the Kellyanne Conway speech. So that's where you got the #AlternativeFacts.
That was her name. I couldn't remember her name. I didn't care to remember her name. But
no, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
It was another way to like refer to BS. And like you touch upon that in the song.
Right.
And then I just want to talk about how it's powerful on its own, but what I love about it is the volta, which is like the beginning. You know about it as a poet. A volta is like the turn in theme or change. So like what you did in the beginning was like talk about all the good stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, you like delve into this wonderful universe that we do not live in at the moment.
Right.
And then you're like, but I was just dreaming. So, and I feel like that goes over a lot of people's heads.
Yeah, that it did. Because I didn't get the response that I was looking for, which is why I released it. I released it as a single because it you know, it meant so much to me.
Yeah.
And I thought people were gonna enjoy that part. Like, I guess they like it sonically because it sounds good, but they didn't see what I was like doing with that. And then it kind of ties into the whole "I Have a Dream" speech with the whole but I was dreaming and type stuff. So it's so hard not to curse. But basically, I was watching Birth of a Nation one night at work.
Yeah, and
I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's the movie.
No, I didn't get to see it.
It's like a recreation of. I think they had an original version. It's a book as well. It's about Nat Turner.
Yeah.
And how he led his rebellion against the slave owners and whatnot.
Yeah.
And towards the end, he gets captured, and they're hanging him. What they did was they depicted him kind of like while he was being hung, he was seeing this euphoria. I guess it sort of like represented freedom. It represented the life that he wanted to live. And I guess through his own death, he kind of foresaw that was about to happen, right? Yeah. But then at some point he does like open his life again, his eyes again. I guess when he took his last breath, and he kind of saw like, wow, like my people, like some of them are laying there dead while I'm here, being hung on my last breath or whatever. So that kind of like already influenced the direction of the song. Right. I wanted to talk about the euphoria that he's obviously in a modern day perspective. I wanted to talk about the euphoria that he was like experiencing. Right. Yeah. But then when you come back to reality, it's like ultimately I was just dreaming about it because I don't want to be negative, but it's like how do we take society at large and kind of turn it into what it, in a subjective opinion, what it should be. Right.
I feel like one of the steps that you can take as an artist is keeping this theme in your songs, right? Because like this does make a difference for some people, right. And then eventually like people can gather together and maybe make a difference. But like we said, it goes over a lot of people's heads, right? And it's like in a lot of your music, you're like, do you want to dumb it down or like, nah?
That's a conversation I have so often, like way too often. A lot of people tell me like, bro, like you have to like dumb it down.
No, I don't think so.
But I think it's because they're too concerned about like being a star
Right.
Of course, I'd love it because ultimately I like performing.
Yeah.
At some point, I was like pooping bricks on stage. Like my first time I performed, I was pooping bricks, and I hated it, absolutely hated it. Now I do not want to stay off camera at all.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to shoot videos all the time. I just want to create. So I guess people, they are aware of that. They're like, you love creating, you should get paid for it.
Word.
Do it this way. But it's difficult for me considering that I do have I have a particular message to send. So
Yeah, I feel that. I hear that. And I don't think you should dumb it down at all for fans like me. Because I understand the Volta and I understand what you're trying to do with your music. So,
Right.
I
appreciate the fans like me.
Yeah, no doubt. And at the end of the day, you're a poet, and that works in your favor because when it comes to music like that, you can tell that you have these little like tricks, like the Volta, to get us to understand what you're trying to portray.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So with that said, let's go to the next song, The Fall.
No problem.
All right.
Yeah, I just wanna see me rich, and everybody wanna see me broke. Negative energy in my space universe told me get rid of them folks. Yeah, I wanna do the best right by my family. I could've been slinging that dope. I'll show you the ropes, so never lose faith and hold on to your hope. Everyone slept while was woke. Yeah, cold nights and a few nightmares. Question the who's and the what's and the whys. Even got more whys and I grew right there. See through world, but the view's impaired. Wanna know the truth, but they still too scared. Heard about disaster and tragedy, man, it's international. Still don't care. But I ain't finna start spitting the riddles. I give them a lot, they take a little. What's so despicable in check? I've been feeling sick trying to get to you, but the world gonna finish you and sentence you to death. If you don't know what's left of your own rights, if you don't be the ref for your own fight, then you'll be the night to your own light till you realize you've been doing this your whole life. So homie, I'm blue for y'all that do not have a clue. When I go by the indigo, I go by the indigo. Remember the name, regardless of fortune and fame. I struggle and fame, I struggle and grew through the pain. Yeah, colorful pictures in mind, I paint it in order to find a positive image to go with the lyrics I spew on my rhymes. But truthfully, it can get tiring spitting in all these sublimes. So let me just switch it up for I deliver you my recent times. I'll go to war for whatever is mine. Leave you maroon like you Adam Levine. It's a surprise I only booked with it. DUI cause you just way out of line. Soon they will find that this young divine and his purpose is only to shine. There coming a time, ain't talking geometry, this is a sign. So follow the rhyme. Ain't for me to do but get dressed. Kiss mom, tell her it's love and leave nest. Stare down towards the ground and I frown and my heartbeat started to pound out of my chest. Realize nothing to do but stand tall. Nobody can fly for you, so don't call. Get cold and the birds fly south, so don't show no doubt even when we fall. So homie, I'm blue for y'all that do not have a clue. When I go by the indigo, I go by the indigo. Remember the name, regardless of fortune and fame. I struggle that grew through the pain.
Wow.
You was about to start cursing up a store for real.
Yo, that song is amazing. Like, it really hits
Thank
my
you,
soul.
thank you.
And we were just talking, like, off air or whatever about how before, like, I was listening to it and I didn't hear it for what it was, like, that last verse until now. Like, I mean, I've kept listening to the album over and over again, but, like, this album is about relevance, and it was relevant, but it's, like, now more than ever, it hit me hard because of the violence that we're undergoing in our communities.
Unfortunately.
And like what you said in the last verse was, ain't for me to do but get dressed, kiss mom, tell her it's love and leave nest. And it's like, damn. And you don't know if you're gonna come back, you know. But in the same token, it's like, I don't know. It's just deep. Talk to me about that a little bit.
Like I said before, at some point you kind of forget what is it that. Well, at least me personally, I don't know if that applies to every artist, but my co-artists kind of agreed with me. So I'm assuming it's not just me. But as you know, like during the final stages of putting together, you know, like your music and your songs and whatnot, you tend to forget what is it that you were speaking about in general. You know, like you start worrying about if the music is just produced well and if it sounds good and if, you know, if it's going to be played well on this speaker and that speaker and whatnot. You know, and then ultimately when it's released and it dropped, now you kind of just want people to like it.
Right.
You know, but you tend to forget the message that you're sending. And of course, it wasn't up until now that I'm reminded that I'm actually talking about something in the song, you know? So, the fall, I wanted something that was very, like, I don't know if you ever heard the song Foreign Fields by Casey Hill.
No.
But that's where the sample comes from. And it's already it's sort of dark.
Yeah.
It's sort of a dark song, which is ironic because it's very, like, uplifting. Like, it sounds very uplifting. So I thought that fit the theme perfectly because Blvck N Bleu kind of does the whole album itself is like I wrote it in a place in time where like, a lot of people don't know about this, but it was a place time where I was like considering like if I even wanted to like actually do music. You know, I don't know. I was just in a bad like mental space.
Right.
I actually didn't really want to compose anything, and it took me a while. If anybody has been following me for as long as I've been an artist, the last thing I actually dropped was the Her video. In 2016, I was featured on my boy's track, Timeless Reject. I was featured on his track, but it's like, you know, like anybody can write a verse.
Right.
But can I produce my own music?
An entire song, yeah.
Right. You know, like that took me a while, and for about a year, I couldn't come up with anything. And I was just like going through like the worst stages. Like I was going through like relationship issues, financial issues, you know, and then just like mentally, I kind of like used to like be like very, you know, just depressed. It's just childhood issues, things that kind of just started to like add up from like bottling. You know,
emotions,
like, right.
Yeah, back. And I feel like a lot of those themes came back in Blvck N Bleu.
Yeah.
Like, you talked about a lot of these hard-hitting themes.
Right. And so the fall, with the fall, well, first of all, I call it the fall because I love the season. I hate summer like, so bad. And I just feel like I'm more creative in the fall anyway. But at the same time, it's a double entendre because, like I said on the very last verse, settlers love and leave nest, stared down towards the ground, and I frowned, and my heartbeat started to pound in my chest. I'm personifying the idea of a baby bird on the edge of its nest, ready to kind of just like jump off and like, you know, take on the world. And you don't really know if you're gonna be able to fly or not.
If your wings work,
right.
Yeah.
But you know, like you kind of just need to. And if you crash and land, that's the fall. That's like, well, I fell. You have no choice but to get back up.
Right.
You can't really call and have somebody bring you back up. So that's basically the theme of the album, which I guess that kind of as well like went over a lot of people's heads. Like you kind of falling and now you're getting back up. Whereas most people would think that the climax would be me falling at the like at the very end. But it's like you fall first. You got to go through the worst to be able to start like climbing back up.
Yeah, that's deep.
Right.
We got snaps back there. Because you're a poet at the end of the day, like I keep saying, and that works in your favor over and over again with your music. And I hear that, trust. And I understand what you're trying to put out. But it's always good to have you speak about it personally, because like what mind state you were in at that time, like I want to know that, you know, and like what inspired, you know, you writing this song. I mean, you said you heard the song and by, who was it? Casey
Hill, yeah.
Yeah, and like that dark song kind of resonated with you at that time, because you were going through something personally. And I appreciate you opening up and talking about that, you know, because these are deep things. But another hard-hitting theme in the another hard-hitting theme in the album is violence. And the next song that I wanted to play is Need to Know. You talk about domestic violence, and you talk about dealing with violence in your own life as well. But you talked about that in Blvck N Bleu, actually. I'm playing that song later on. Okay. You talked about the own violence in your life, what you dealt with. But yeah, I'm going to play Need to Know by you right now. Then we'll talk about that.
Do it.
For quite some time, I took that time to sum it up and turn it into rhymes. I know it's gonna be difficult for you to understand, but listen baby, I refuse to be that bitter guy. You see, for years I've been feeling like he's alone. Reason why since my childhood I'm walking around like I'm grown. My father left me, and even when he would stick around, his energy was present as that of a garden gnome. So don't take no offense when I struggle to give my best. It's hard to do what's right by you when everybody left. Check, I never felt I was good enough to succeed. Ironic how I don't sleep, so when can't even dream. It seems everything I've accomplished I had to force and set a mental GPS just to stay on my course. But then the more I force, the more it's feeling inauthentic. So I'm scared that if I try, I might turn around and resent it.
Tell me, is you gonna ride?
Yeah, painting pictures depicting the piece of passive aggression. Picked apart on my partner's proceeds and I learned my lesson. I get angry sometimes and especially when I'm stressing. So I'm grateful enough to see you as my only blessing. Girl, I need you, and all that I've done is only a preview. But it's a given in this world that people would deceive you. So I find it hard to 100% believe you. But don't get it twisted, and would never leave you. You're all I want and all I need and all I've ever loved. And if I ever lost you, I would probably call out to above and ask the heavens to give back. Watch you come back as a dove and morph into a dying rose of the diamond that's in the rough. Cause you've been through some, but trust me, I've been through it too. But if it's from me and them dudes, is that I'm speaking what is true. So let me plant a seed and grow up out some different roots. You're worth it all, that's absolute. And girl, I wanna ride with you, I'm asking.
Tell me, is you gonna ride? Tell me, is you gonna ride for me, babe? Tell me, is you gonna die for me, babe? So tell me, is you gonna ride? Tell me, is you gonna ride? Tell me, is you gonna ride? So tell me, is you gonna ride? Tell me, is you gonna ride for me, babe? Tell me, is you gonna die for me, babe?
Look, ironic, she is like a drug when she is at her all. I never felt much higher since the day you made me fall. I know there's been some others and they did some damage to you, but I can heal your wound like a bandage and alcohol. I need to know you won't betray me or push me away. I need to know you stick around me every single day. Need you to know I care for you and I'll do you no harm. So let's begin our life forever, starting with today. And last but not least, you bring my world to its peace. You are the melody that creeps through every one of these beats. I want you more when you around, and girl, that's so bittersweet. Because of you, I see the good in everyone that I meet. Faith in humanity, the antidote to kill my damn insanity. Invested in you, no hesitation, like you's a charity. Reality or fantasy, this is just an analogy. My misses and my music sharing individuality.
Tell me, is you gonna ride? Tell me, is you gonna ride for me, babe? Tell me, is you gonna die for me, babe? So tell me, is you gonna ride? Tell me, is you gonna ride? Tell me, is you gonna ride? So tell me, is you gonna ride? Tell me, is you gonna ride for me, babe? Tell me, is you gonna die for me, babe?
Die for me to know.
That was Need to Know by formerly known as Indiigo Bleu. He's now Joel Bleu.
Yes.
It's Joel, right? Not Joel. How do I pronounce it?
Here we go. You know, it's actually funny because that's the reason why I kind of... There's many reasons why I got rid of the Indigo. If we're going to get into that now, since I already mentioned it.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why is because I felt like I was holding on to that name because that was a nickname given to me from a friend of mine who you know, passed away in 2016. One of those 2 years, in December.
Yeah.
He was like, you know, like one of those like new era, like, you know, like super deep thinkers and whatnot. He got into that through like Joey Badass and whatnot and Capital C's. And I don't mean to be rude, but I pray to God like what happened with Capital C's didn't influence him to, you know, do what he did. But you know, it's a different story. Anywho, he kind of like, he called himself Indigo Tona. And yeah, he kind of like, you know, he was like, bro, like you are an indigo as well. Like, you know, like that should be your poet name or whatever. So that became that. And just, you know, like holding on to the name so long after he's been gone, I just feel like I'm just carrying like bad energy, you know?
Yeah.
That's one thing. Two, a lot of people don't know how to spell it.
They're like 3 eyes.
Yeah, I had it with 3 eyes. So there was like, a lot of people didn't know how to figure out my email.
Yeah.
Some people were calling me Indigo.
No.
And that just sounds like terrible. I don't know where Indigo comes from, but some people calling me Indigo. And then I don't think I've ever actually introduced myself as Indiigo Bleu. But then it's no one actually ever asks a person what's their stage name. Yeah. You kind of just find out they do music, and then you find them through, you know, social media or whatever, and you see their stage name. I've never actually introduced myself as Indiigo Bleu, and I was never able to say it. And then when I did say it to myself, I didn't feel comfortable with it. So that's where you know, I shifted to Joel Bleu. Joel is my middle name, so I felt like it's, you know, it's kind of it's a lot more personal. My artistry is my alter ego. Like some people's artistry is them as themselves. Me, like I was just telling you before, I don't like conversing with people a lot. I'm very conservative. I'm very to myself. A lot of the music that I create is just my ideas. And then I kind of just take my alter ego and perform it the way I do in the studio, in the videos, on stage. and whatnot. So that, that's where the alter ego comes from.
So going back to the theme on Need to Know, it's about violence.
Yeah.
You show that in the video, and I feel like that's definitely a video that a lot of people need to see, because it's a hard hitting theme, and like what you're saying in the song is just it's deep, and that deserves more views in my eyes. But this is why we're here. So tell me about the theme behind that song and like what made you write it.
Originally, it's a very like easy beat. It's very like 1-2 boom bap. So I figured it was gonna be a super easy song to write. I have a song very similar to it called "How Many MCs on the Blue Society." 3 verses, 3 hooks, simple. Like no extra production needed.
Yeah.
But I figured I should take it a step further, and I wasn't being very creative. So initially, the concept of the song is me talking about my relationship with music. Again, like I said, The Fall is about me. The whole album is about me being at a point where I'm sort of close. I'm reconsidering, should I continue to make music and pursue music as my career.
Right.
So Need to Know was about my relationship with it. So it's interesting because if you listen to the songs with that concept in mind, you can literally hear me talking to a personified idea of music and the music industry itself. So it sounds like I'm talking about a woman because, why not have a romantic relationship with your art? It's your muse at the end of the day. But at the same time, I decided to flip it because one of the newer things coming back into my music since I released Her was a new relationship.
Right.
In Her, I'm talking about some things that I was going through, which got severely worse over time. But that began to change. Met someone new. This person became like a best friend to me. This person is kind of like music to me. So the last line kind of ties that in. My mistress and my music sharing individuality.
Yeah.
It kind of like wraps into it. So okay, cool. That's the whole idea of the song. Then I decided to take it a step further with the creativity with the video because I wanted to tell her story. I wanted to tell my girlfriend's story. So she was she wasn't in a physically abusive relationship. The video is actually, it tells 2 stories. It tells my girlfriend's story, and it tells another particular person who they asked me to not disclose of their name. So it tells their story as well, and I kind of just like combined it. It's mostly my girlfriend's story, but any of the physical abuse is the other person's story. She kind of dealt with a verbally abusive man, somebody who puts you down, somebody who cheats on you and does just pretty much everything in the world to make you feel less of a woman. And I feel like a lot of women and men, but we're talking about women here.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of women are dealing with that, and they're okay with it. They've I don't know if I can't say they've been raised to think to not be aware that they're okay with it.
To normalize it, yeah.
Right. But they just become so like okay with it that they don't realize that this has become a consistent thing, in their lives. So they're constantly sad, they're constantly down, but then this person does one nice thing and they're all happy-go-lucky and whatnot.
And the cycle
and
continues.
It's so damaging.
Yeah.
And I feel like women kind of need to I feel like I needed to do something to kind of bring them to that understanding that, you're kind of undergoing some BS.
And at the end, you left the message like a PSA to people.
Yeah, I'll get into that. The second person, they allowed me to tell the story, but they just no names. The second person dealt with us with a similar relationship, except this person was more physically abusive. They would put their hands on them. They'd draw them away from their family. They told, they pretty much forced this person out to work, because I don't want you meeting new people. I don't want you doing this. I don't want you doing that. So basically, he kind of just had her in the palm of his hand. And, some people just deal with things differently. And she ultimately started to consider taking her own life. And at some point, she actually did. She ran herself a bath, just like it is depicted in the video. If I'm not mistaken, she might have tried to overdose, but then she was also considering cutting herself. And her parents didn't they didn't hear from her for about 2 hours. They're like, where is she? Why is she taking so long in the shot? And in the bathroom, they go into the bathroom and they kind of just see her pretty much unconscious in the bathtub. The only reason why she actually didn't succeed at taking her own life is because the pills made her unconscious.
Wow.
So she could have ended up drowning or whatever, but
right.
that's what that entails.
And tell me a little bit about the PSA.
The PSA, if I can even remember what it says, the PSA pretty much is a reiteration of everything that I'm saying now. But it also it hits hard because I'm a first-hand witness of domestic violence. My dad would put his hands on my mom a lot through me, and it's it's very difficult for a child to see that growing up. It's emotionally scarring. So that's why I take these things very much seriously. I see what it can do to a person. My mom for a lot of time after that wasn't herself.
Right.
You know, she wasn't at her best. She didn't feel confident enough as a woman. And I've spoken to her about these things. She told me that there was times where she's just like, you know, am I even a good mom? You know, am I even worth this? Can I even get this kind of job? Like, and you know, like who am I and what am I? You know, that messes with a person. So I don't remember thoroughly what the PSA says. We were supposed to work on that together.
Yeah.
But we couldn't figure it out, and we felt like it was gonna be too staged. So I kind of just jotted something
Exactly.
down, and then I put it there. So if anybody can catch it, it's towards the end of the video. You just kind of pause it and screenshot it. You'll be able to read it.
Yeah. It must have been hard writing a song like this, like with all these things in the back of your mind,
Yeah.
like all these personal attachments
Yeah.
to what you're writing.
The video, yes.
Yeah.
The song, like I said, it was the song has somewhat of a separate concept than the video. Of course, they intertwine at some point, but writing the song, it wasn't as difficult because I like to express myself. That's
Yeah.
you know, that it's what I do.
That's
but
the whole point. Yeah.
right. But then the video, like, you know, like when we're actually acting it out, and you know, we're you know, like we're doing things, like it was kind of like it was like a nerve in my head that was like twitching. Like I couldn't see it. And then because it's my actual girlfriend that's like doing it, it's like, oh, like, yo, like, you sure you want to do this? Like, I don't know, man.
It's deep, man. And like, if you haven't checked it out yet, check out Need to Know by Indiigo Bleu. 3 eyes on Indigo. Not Indigo. It's Indigo. But yeah, you can find them on YouTube. And yeah.
Or, I mean, honestly, they can type in Joel Bleu as well.
Yeah. Oh,
because
now it's going to come up as Joel Bleu?
The video is listed as Indiigo Bleu, but it's under the Joel Bleu account.
Okay.
So either
Got you.
or, they'll be able to find it.
Got you. All right. So let's play Blvck N Bleu next. That's the title album. That's the title song of his recent sophomore album, Blvck N Bleu. So let's play that.
When you're hiding in the meadows, feeling black and blue. When you reach for your spirit, hold back and
Hold the weight of the world on my shoulders. Fold, always lose faith, what they told us. Hold the weight of the world on my shoulders. Fold, but I'm gon' rock with it, rock with it. Hold the weight of the world on my shoulders. Fold, always lose faith, what they told us. Hold the weight of the world on my shoulders. Fold, but I'm gon' rock with it, rock with it. Every time you got a question, you never ask. You try to keep me covered as if you were a mask. I'm not an issue, homie, but you need to understand that you gon' trip over the good if you keep looking to the past. You got no right to tell me how to live. You intangible, you know realer than Kylie Jenner's lips. Actually, I'm quite the opposite. I'm realer than you think, and my significance controls whether you live or never blink. Is you a shrink dog? You only in control when I'm asleep, creeping up into my head and then making the rivers deep like the ocean. I'm flooded with all the emotion, and I'm trying to make it back, but can't figure out where the boat went. And you ain't even gotta try. See, like you said, I'm non-existent to the human eye, but I'm the reason that you cry, and I'm the reason that you see, and I'm the reason that you reason why we ask why. I could put my pride aside if you promise to be my guide. I'll provide nothing but guidance as long as you never hide. No, I never told a lie, and I've always been by your side. Then where the were you when Adam committed his suicide? See, I admit the universe is a difficult thing to fathom. That started as an atom, then multiplied out of random. But if you could work with me, then I promise to do my best. Well, then let's do it. Life is nothing but a test. We could pass.
when you're hiding in the meadows, feeling black and blue. When you reach for your spirit, hold back and
Hold the weight of the world on my shoulders. Fold, always lose faith, what they told us. Hold the weight of the world on my shoulders. Fold, but I'm gon' rock with it, rock with it. Hold the weight of the world on my shoulders. Fold, always lose faith, what they told us. Hold the weight of the world on my shoulders. Fold, but I'm gon' rock when with it, rock is going bad. Who's you gon' blame? You got an issue with the rapper or the real name? Is he somebody you been down with since day one? Or you just stick around and hope you reach fortune and fame? Man, what a shame. I thought two different images appear in separate frames. You gotta put the man and the music on different lanes. Regardless of what happens between you two is what stands. The difference between a phony and a loyal fan. I got got an issue dealing with death, and fairly often find myself overcome by the stress. See, as a poet, you would think it's all out of my chest, but I'm asthmatic, so when got limited breath. I'll take you back to my younger days of abuse. I was scared of the truth. Papa would always beat me and even knocked out my tooth, or was it two? Avoiding school cause of a wrecked lip. Picture little blue eating doorknobs for I could breakfast. have been a college grad, that was never my path. Was excellent up in the arts, couldn't get it with math. At times I'm wondering, like, if I stayed, what would I have? Would I be there for education or trying to pass? I grew up feeling inadequate about everything, quitting all that I started. Would never ever dream opportunities never seen. Been depressed since the puberty, cheated out of relationships. Been a victim to violence, but it still drive like a blue, like a blue, like a blue.
Finding your shadow, blinded from the sun.
I wish I could talk more, but damn, we gotta wrap
I'll be
up.
back.
But tell them your social media handle and all that good stuff where they can find you.
It's very simple. House of Blues. Blue is spelled with an EU, not UE. It's French. BLEU. House of Blues, Instagram, Joel Bleu on Facebook, Joel Bleu on YouTube. If you search up Indiiigo Bleu on any streaming service, you'll be able to find all of my music. And yeah.
And tell me just real quick about your next work, like what you're working on next, if you're working on anything.
It's supposed to be esoteric
Yeah.
because these guys aren't supposed to know about it.
Oh, okay. Nah, so yeah.
But
His boys are here
My
for anybody who
birthday's
can't
October
see.
8th.
Hey.
And like I said, I like the fall. So I have, it may be, right now it's 5, but it may turn into 8, an 8-track project in October.
Hey,
So-
look out for that. And you can find him, the social media handle. He already gave it to y'all. Thank you for being here.
No doubt. Needed to ask something, by the way,
Oh, yeah. What's up?
because I don't think the viewers are aware that we actually go back.
Yeah, we do.
Actually go back to high school.
Went to high school
I
together.
wanted to know, like, how does it feel? Are you a fan of my work?
Yes.
Okay, I just had to make that clear.
What?
How does it feel for somebody who we barely knew each other in high school, you know? And I had no like,
Ties.
right? I had like no ties to you, and I had no ties to like doing any music. Like I said, I just got into hip hop in my high school years.
Right.
How does it feel to kind of like see somebody that you know knew as one thing kind of become something else?
It feels amazing. And like I'm watching that unfold and I want to be part of it as much as like as far as having you here and talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, what else can I tell you? Like I've been watching you since you started. So it's like to see you grow this
Thanks
much.
for telling me.
Yeah, of course. To say I did. To see you grow this much is like, you know, it's crazy. Actually, I didn't know when you guys were working together. So it was True School. You guys had the what was it?
Who got the props?
Who got the props?
Yeah.
Y'all was all on it, and you're kind of like, oh, I don't want to look at that anymore, but it shows your growth.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's amazing to see that elevation, even though we didn't know each other like that, and I know a lot of people knew that you were working on music and stuff, but yeah, what can I tell you? It feels awesome.
That's dope.
But thank you for being here
Glad you're
again.
impressed.
Yeah, of course I am. Yeah.
Shout out to the Dreamville shirt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is where he's going next, guys. This is the goal. That's why I wore it, because he's going here.
Facts.
He's gonna
Dreamville.
be part of Dreamville. We're gonna make that happen. But thank you.
No doubt. Thank you.
See ya.
I lost my motivation, I lost my pride. Felt like a junkie that done lost his high. Got lost in contemplation as time went by. I watched myself commit musical suicide. Tell me where to begin. Close to the light, but it's still looking dim. Look, I've been lost for a while, carrying your weight, but I'm skipping the gym. Who apart from the Lord and committing these sins, had to talk with the devil while singing to him. Poor me, I had to save myself. Took rap and everything, put it on the shelf to catch dust, but it was a must. First, my got caught up in the lust. See, that's some that I will not discuss, but to lose a good thing off of that bust. Couldn't really do a thing for one. Tell the truth, I done went and bought a ring, man. Thank God that they giving us spring, man. Now my new queen with a king, man. Back to the matter in hand. 22 now, but his birth was a man that I mentioned. Although I have love for my family, I do not my dear Uncle Sam. Damn. I lost my motivation, I lost my pride. Felt like a junkie that done lost his high. Got lost in contemplation as time went by. I watched myself commit musical suicide. I lost my motivation, I lost my pride. Felt like a junkie that done lost his high. Got lost in contemplation as time went by. I watched myself commit musical suicide. Thought about a time, couldn't get employed, fell into a damn void. That's a feeling I cannot forget. Yeah, had it planned out, but it wouldn't pan out, and it wouldn't be the rent. Yeah, made a new route, spending days on my couch writing rap as a way to vent. Ever since I've been trying to take far, no car on foot, trying to make it to the main event. That was it, easily my biggest setbacks. That I took a step back and I kept overthinking. Yeah, like riding Titanic, but caught in a panic from dreaming about sinking. Yeah, and all this self-hatred got me suffocated. I stopped meditating, my soul was on fire and intoxicated. I never got faded, but should have been drinking. So picture that like Nikon, you'd have been pictured as an icon, but you feeling choked out like fights with pythons. Knowing damn well you lost the sights is on y'all. Can't react to the whack I'm going through. Coming back with the raps, where you going blue? To the top, I don't stop, I be running through. And I damn sure dropped anybody who can't get past that. I passed all your plateaus. At a point I never thought I would have foes. Never mind that, they came fast like a wag. Finally smashed, I dream big and want the minor league cash. But I'm not concerned about who's hating, and waiting for me to collapse. See, I just keep flexing, y'all just stressing to see my succession, and that's facts. I lost my motivation, I lost my pride. Felt like a junkie that done lost his high. Regained my motivation as time goes by. I'll take these beats and now commit some homicides. Tell me where to begin. Tell me where to begin. Look, I've been lost for